Hello everyone! Kumusta? Today I want to share with you what happened to these files. These files are one orchid. It is the first file in my collection. It hasn't flowered for me yet, but it had grown a lot. And I cut it into two. This is the lower part, which is growing keikis. And this is the upper part, which I repotted in a self-watering pot from Shopee. This was May 3 and I had issues with my orchids in self-watering pots because their roots at the bottom of the pot are perfect, but their newer roots on top have died off. And I think these are root burns, and I have already addressed that. I changed my fertilizer, I changed my fertilizing method, and I will share that with you on my next videos. I removed her from the pot to check the roots. I cut the dead roots and I planted her back to her old pot, and I buried the lower stem. This was how she looked after I planted her back, and I think I did a mistake of burying the lower stem. I was soaking my files for flushing, and I removed this one again from the pot because I was checking for dead roots, and I found out that it is growing keikis, and this part I buried this in the medium because this file is getting long, so I buried the long stem and the roots, and it's growing keikis. I think two probable keikis, the ones which are colored white. So I think I will cut this and we'll see. I'm surprised that this managed to grow while inside the pot, while buried in the medium. Good thing I checked the roots. Today is July 9 and I will now cut the stem. I placed her like this after I removed her from the pot. I did not place the medium back, so she was bare rooted for a few days. I just sprayed water at the roots when I water her. Let's check the keikis first. Let's see if they have already grown after a few days. And they have grown. They also changed their color from white to green. This one has a tiny leaf. And this one has a nice root. I will cut here in the middle where there are no roots. I have already sterilized my cutter with an alcohol. So here's the upper part. And here's the lower part. I will apply cinnamon powder on them. Here's the cinnamon powder that I will use, and I will apply it to the cuts that I made. And then I will just keep them here indoors. I will let the wounds dry first before I water them again and before I plant them in a pot. I will now plant them in separate pots, or I'll repot them. And I will use this old pot and even the old medium for the lower part. This is the upper part, and as you can see, the cut or the wound is already dry. She has nice roots, and I will plant her in a new self-watering pot that I bought from Shopee. I will plant the lower part first, and let's check. The keiki, the first keiki is growing well, and the smaller keiki had also grown, and the cut or the wound that I made is also already dry. I will cut some dead roots first, but I will cut only a few. I will even leave the strings or the roots because this will not be able to grow new roots again, except for the keikis, which will grow their own roots. This is done, and I did not bury them this time. This is the new self-watering pot that I bought from Shopee, and I bought it for 152 pesos. I like it because you can see the water level here. This is the outer pot. And this is the inner pot. It also comes with this cotton string. Width is 5 inches. And height is 4 inches for the inner pot. For the outer pot, the width is also 5 inches. And height is almost 6 inches. I will replace this cotton string with a Japanese cord that I bought from the department store because this will last longer than the cotton string. I have placed the string and I tie here so that I can pull it this way when I place the medium. I will now plant the lower part here. And I will bend and place this aerial root inside the pot, just this one, and let's see what will happen. And they are done. This is the lower part which I planted in the old pot, which is my DIY self-watering pot. I love this pot, very cheap and easy to make. However, the outer pot is no longer available at the store. And this is the upper part which I planted in a self-watering pot from Shopee. I will include the link in the description. I will now pour some water in the reservoir, and for this pot I'll have to pick this up and place some water because I won't be able to see the water level. And in this pot I can pour water directly here because I can see the water level. And that's it. I will change their water into fertilized water when I will fertilize my other orchids in self-watering pots. Good morning! I want to share with you that the lower leaves of this phal had turned brown. I have removed the 3 lower leaves of the phal which turned brown, and for me this is normal, and the plant itself had already grown a new leaf. And today, August 5, I want to show you that those tiny growths are now developing, I think, into Keikis. I think that is a leaf. And this is the other one, the smallest one. The smaller keiki before is growing another leaf and another root. New root and new leaf, and here's the bigger one. It is also growing a new leaf. Here's one of her root. They are growing and I'm happy. And here's the upper part. She is growing a new root. The root here continued to grow. And the leaf and aerial roots are also growing. I hope that this will continue to grow and bloom for me. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for watching. Maraming salamat. Paalam. See you in my next videos.